Hello, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are having a good day. I am definitely doing double duty. How are you guys today? I've had a bit of a crazy week myself. Salut Yvette, ma belle. Comment ça va? I feel like it's really dark on this side. Hang on. Hey Tanya, how are you doing, hun? Hi Norma. How are you? That's a little better. Hi, Rosalinda Ramirez. Nice of you all to take some time out of your life and join. Thank you for doing that. Have you guys ever just had something happen to you that you're just like, why? Why did this person have to say something like that? That recently happened to me this week, and I don't know. You all know how I like to live my life doing the right thing. I believe that I answer, to the big guy upstairs and stuff like that. But recently, I was in a situation where I actually thought that I heard my ex trying to sort of fraudulently do something against a company that I do work for. And I was really sure that it was going to be deceitful on his part and fraudulent. And I really didn't want, the new company to go through something like that. So I spoke up to the instructor and I stated that hi, Amy, TGIS, thank goodness it's Sherry. But yeah, I reached out to the instructor and I said, that I thought that something, was fishy and that you might want to look into this a bit further and stuff like that. And the instructor came back and said to me that he thought I was going to use my new power position to do evil. And I was so taken aback. I finished, of course, up the day and whatnot, and I honestly was emotional about it. Like, you think I'm gonna do evil? Are you serious? You don't know me very well, do you? I was really, really taken aback and offended, and I really wasn't sure how to even address it. So I decided the following day, after thinking about it all night long, that I was going to voice my disappointment, I guess, if you will, whatever you want to call that, to this person, to him. And I'm like, you really don't know me very well to even say something like that. You think I'm going to use my new powers of position to do evil? Nah, that's not what this cat's about, So I reached out and I sent a message in regards to the situation and didn't hear anything back. On that note, though, he was a lot nicer to me. And I was just like, why would you say something like that to somebody you don't even know? Like, what is that, Yeah, Tanya, I'm not like that though, right? Like, it's just like, oh my gosh, why would you say something like that? I don't know if you guys have ever been in a situation like that, but I was pretty taken aback. Like, I don't know. I feel like I have a much bigger person to answer to than any of the humans. I don't care what degree of law you're in. I don't care what power position you're in. None of it compares to the big guy upstairs. And that's the only one that I'm worried about impressing. So for him to just come out and say that he thought I was going to use my new found power position to do evil, I was just like shocked, like seriously offended. I didn't even know how else to put it. But it really made me upset. Like, it really, like, touched me. I mean, I've had friends that I've told this to since this happened last week, but honestly, and all of them are like, just brush it off. It doesn't matter what they think, especially that they don't know you. And, I'm just like, but why? Why do you have to feel the need to go with that? That's not a funny joke, So I was really like offended. I don't know if you guys have had that happen, where someone just says something so au contraire to your actual personality and, just kind of quotes you as that's going to be you. Like, no, thank you. I don't need that on my shoulders. I don't need that in my conscience. Like, I'm good. So I know I'm an emotional being. I know that, but like, geez. Is there a toilet paper shortage where I am? Yeah. And you know what's funny is that there's so many people around the world that don't understand why toilet paper. Like, this is a virus. This has nothing to do with wiping your butt, blah, blah, blah. What they don't realize, though, is that the wipes and the hand sanitizers and stuff is what's gone off the shelves. So much so that people are buying, do it yourself tools, right? So they're buying paper towel and toilet paper. They're putting it in a container, soaking it with alcohol or isopropanol, and then they're taking out the middle piece of the tissue paper and throwing that away and using it as homemade wipes. That's why the toilet papers and paper towels are flying off the shelves, is because the hand sanitizers and the wipes are not in stock anymore. Like, everybody's bought it all up because everybody's concerned about when they got to go somewhere and touch a door handle or touch a cart handle or touch anything. Like, everybody's kind of just tripping right now. And I get it. I understand that everybody's concerned with this, but like, let's be realistic here. If you didn't travel anywhere to where this originated, which there have been a few Canadians and North Americans that have traveled to these places, yes, I think those people need to be concerned. And then anyone that they came into contact would need to be concerned. I don't think that the entire freaking world needs to be very concerned. I don't know, but that's just me. I really feel like, the government's blown things out of proportion again in order to create this little bit of havoc, which eventually, in my opinion, is going to turn into martial law, which is eventually going to turn into citizens basically on house arrest, where you're not allowed to go out unless maybe you're going to work. And those workplaces are going to have permissions in place for you to go there, which is going to stop a lot of the economy from making money. I believe this is a really big thing. It just hasn't fully hit yet. This is the beginning of it, and I think it's going to progress. That's my take. Yeah, Texas is bear. Tell dude to kick rocks. Who are you talking about, Norma? Oh, the guy that said that to me. Well, I mean, he was my instructor, so he was a higher up. So I was really offended that somebody like that would think something like of me like that. So, but yeah, Tanya, there's shortage of the paper towels and toilet paper pretty much everywhere. Rosalinda says, "Don't let that worry you. Tell him if something goes wrong, don't blame me. Simply, I was trying for him to be honest." Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I think, okay, so what I got from a coworker was that maybe it was a joke, but that really wasn't a funny joke. Like, I mean, you're talking about my character, and that I don't take that lightly. Thank you very much. Like, I really don't appreciate you saying something like that about me when you don't even know me. So, yeah, it was a little bit of a piss off. Hi, Analytical Alice. You need food more than toilet paper. Yeah, we do. Everybody's going to need food more than toilet paper. People are sort of focusing on the wrong things, and I understand the precautions around not wanting to come in contact with the virus, but let's face it, the majority of the world that didn't travel to these places or associate with somebody who did travel to these places where the epidemic started, they don't really, the rest of us don't really have much to worry about unless we come into contact with somebody who's coming to the contact of those areas. So I feel like the frenzy is just a little too much. I mean, I get the precaution, but like I said, if you didn't go there yourself or you don't know anybody who traveled there, what your chances of coming into contact with that virus are a lot more minimal. So, the frenzy of all of this is a little played, in my opinion. And I think that it's going to be for a much bigger situation. This is just the beginning tidbits kind of thing. I told y'all last week, just didn't realize there would be a run on toilet paper. Yeah, there's so many people that don't understand why too. And it's not that people need to prepare to wipe their butt or whatever. It's they want to make homemade wipes. They want something to take with them to, wipe things off or grab things with it and then throw it away, to not come in contact with common areas like door handles and cart handles and stuff like that. So I get it, but it's funny that there's some people that are like, I didn't hear anything about having troubles wiping your ass. I saw this one guy on TikTok just confused, and there had to be almost 500,000 views on it. And I thought, I wonder how many other people know it's because they're making homemade wipes. So it prompted me to comment and let him know so that he didn't feel like a fool, like, running around talking smack about the toilet paper and stuff. So, but I've been dealing with a lot of chronic pain this week, folks. My goodness, it's just been a long week. A lot of double duties last few weeks. Do you have drive-through medicines? No, I don't think we do. You basically have to go in, drop your prescription, either like Walmart or Shoppers or a pharmacy of some sort, right? And then you go back and pick it up. Sometimes they deliver. So if you already have a file open with them, you can just, call in a refill or something like that. Laura Turner, welcome. I have never seen your name here. Thank you for joining. Oh, my back. Can you try the fork bottle challenge today without editing? Show face of bottle. What is the fork bottle challenge? Please explain. I'd love to hear what this is, Laura. Exactly, Amy. That is exactly my mentality. And today I was literally even sitting in church listening to my pastor telling everybody that they're actually stopping the service. But there was somebody in Winnipeg that had come into contact with this virus due to traveling. So who knows how many people that person was in contact with in Canada, that's created for this. But like I said, I heard that there was a case or two in Winnipeg. So I'm not surprised to hear that everybody's going a little bit crazy, right? I mean, you want to be careful, especially if you are somebody who maybe works with that individual and, you don't want to come into contact with something that's going to kill you. But if that's in the cards, folks, like if that's what's supposed to happen and that's how your life is going to end, trust me, there are no, measures of caution that you can take to prevent it. Like it's in the cards, it's going to happen. So people could be careful all they want or not. And either way, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. That's kind of my take on it. I heard hardly no one in Mexico has the virus. There's a few places where nobody traveled to that destination or area, so it's considered a safe place. In fact, I was at work last night and there was an individual that had come in with backpacks and stuff like that, saying, is this a safe place? And he was asking that he'd been traveling and he did not even want to go into Winnipeg because there was somebody that had come in contact with this virus. He considers it a non-safe place. Whereas here, he was like, well, if you guys haven't heard of anything happening here, nobody here has gotten it, he considered this a safe place to stay. So people are being very, very cautious about it. And I understand why. Like I said, if there's anybody in the area of where you are that has come in contact, your likelihood of coming into contact with it is higher. but I don't think it's going to like take out the world. And like I said, if that's in the cards, it's going to happen. It doesn't matter what preventions you take, you know? No, I did not hear about what happened at the 7-Eleven in New Jersey. Be more concerned if you are a senior with autoimmune disease and COPD. Yeah. Yeah, you'd want to be really extra careful. I think the crisis is schools closing. Yeah, schools closed here early as well. I think everybody's just on precaution mode right now. I think okay, that's a problem. Yeah, that's going to be a problem, especially if they keep saying keep school canceled. You know, eventually what will it go to? Keep work canceled. Then how are people going to make money in order to feed their family? Everybody's going to go into an economic crisis if the government continues to push this as they are, creating for schools and facilities to completely shut down. There is no way to bring in that revenue unless you have alternative measures in place, which makes me very thankful for the alternate measures I have in place. Like, thank God that's what's happening in my life. But it's going to progress. If they are successfully shutting down the schools, they're going to eventually shut down places of work, and it's going to stop business, and it's going to stop the income revenue, and it's going to blow up. You know, and that's where I think, like, I read about martial law back in 2017. I had no idea that there were laws in place in North America for such a thing, which states that if the government puts out a state of emergency crisis, they can literally have the army patrolling areas to keep citizens in their homes, which is basically known as house arrest. Like, there's no gentle way of putting something like that. If the government decides there is enough of a state of emergency, they can actually stop everything, put martial law in place, and nobody has a say about your life anymore anyways. You don't have any freedom anyways, because they've stopped the ability of the business people to run the business. They've stopped the ability of the school to run their business. It's just going to keep going, and then it's going to be so huge that if you don't have any alternative measures for money, good luck being able to buy yourself anything and get your food delivered, you know, things like that, right? So I see this as blowing up into something huge, you know, should they decide that that's what's going to happen. And mark my words, I have read this in the law books that is a thing. Martial law is very much in their power, and they can exercise it at any time they wish. And every citizen is bound to abide by that law. And they will put out military enforcement to make sure of that. And you can actually get arrested if you're found outside of your home when you're not supposed to be, or you don't have permission to be. So yeah, like, I don't know how much more clear to be, but that's the truth, God's honest truth. Hi, Yolanda. Oh, Amy, the chronic pain is brutal. I literally was limping by the end of my day at work. I got home and I was in tears, stretching. Like, I was just, oh my gosh. Yeah, the schools here are closed too. Analytical Alice, I'm glad you're on the same page as me, because it is the truth and it is real. And for those that don't know about it and don't know the law, I suggest you go and look into it, because it tells you right there in black and white ink kind of thing. On black and white is what I mean. What's going to happen and what they have power and control to do. That's the same thing as the homeowner situation, folks. If the queen decides that she needs to put a road in the middle of your home because you're in the way of something, she can literally decide to take that back away. You're like, it's not really much of an asset if the government and the queen can turn around and say they want it back and just buy out your land, and you just have to get up and move and get out of the way, or be demolished with it, kind of thing. You know, as much as I'd love to be a homeowner too, I don't know where's safe. I need to research stuff like that. But, and who knows if I'll get there or not. Like, I've been a renter my whole life, so I don't know. But it sure worries me when I read stuff like that. Like the banks giving people this false sense of security, saying that you've got this awesome asset, and maybe the queen will never come along and decide that she needs a road right there. Yeah, that might never happen, but it might. And the chance of it happening, she reigns the power on that. She has the control, and you just have to go with it, or like they're going to buy you out and demolish the house, so they'll take you out by force if they have to. You know what, Teresa Bartholomew, and welcome. I have not seen your name either, hun. We are going to be doing some new stories coming up, folks. I've actually got some information on Robert Frada, and I also have information on the Sherry Rasmussen case. So a couple of new things to go over. I just need to find some time in order to sit down and really read everything. I've just been so busy with my work outside of the home too, that between the brain work I do like all day with my day job, and then I leave in the evening and I do brawn work with my body, and then I come home and I crash because I'm exhausted, and I get up the next day and I repeat the whole thing, So, what is that? Medicine to make you mad? Like, for real. That's got to be a recipe for disaster eventually. You got a soda stream yesterday? I can't drink carbonated drinks. I'm already very bloated in the front, that causes all the strain on the bulging discs, that even if I eat a big meal, it pulls on my back because it's that painful. Like it just can't handle any more of the stress of it pulling in the front. Yeah, the martial law is coming. I mean, mark my words, it's gonna happen. Agenda 2030, I think it's possible it could happen even before that. I mean, look at the emergency crisis that's happening right now in just a virus. And this isn't the first time, right? The H1N1 was kind of the same deal. Everyone was going a little bit mad about it. Rosalinda says, okay, Tracy May, hi. If any of you are new and you haven't yet subscribed, I'd love for you to push that subscribe button. The more the merrier. Everybody's got different perspectives or opinions or thoughts. And I think that we're stronger in our diversity. So please, hit that subscribe and hit that like if you enjoy the conversation. We are nothing but real, and we have nothing but integrity and honesty here. That is the one thing. But yeah, cure, I don't know, right? Like, yeah, they can't even cure a common flu, right? I said something about, like, honestly, like, I'm surprised that they haven't had some kind of vaccination come out yet and say, here, we need to inject everybody with this virus so you can build up your immune system. Like, I really don't believe that. I don't think that that's a good way to, whatever. But that's just my opinion, okay? I know there's a lot of people that have gone through vaccinations and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're talking about the coronavirus. Hi, Maria's kitty cat. Today I feel a little depressed because I decided to give up on my adult son that has schizophrenia. I admire you because you keep on being strong and working. Well, you're so sweet. I actually don't really see another way around it. I feel like if I don't keep myself concentrating on learning new things or doing things, that the things that are deeply painful to me, such as my lack of family and my children not being in my life and stuff like that, I honestly feel like if I don't stay busy, it's really going to get to me. And like, that's enough to make anybody go crazy. To lose your family, your immediate family, as well as your own biological family, that's the hardest thing that anybody can go through and try to carry on and work and put a smile on their face. But what's the alternative? Letting it win and just be depressed and not even try to be happy about the small things? I choose to do the exact opposite of the latter. I really try to put that smile on my face, and that's not to say that crap doesn't get me down. There's days that you guys have even seen it where I've just had it. I'm fed up. I'm so done with this crappy ass world and all the hate and just the crap that comes with the world. It's overwhelming sometimes, and then you add on top of that chronic pain, you add on top of that depression. I mean, the alternative to forcing the smile and trying to bring some happiness to your life is the only measure that I feel like I don't want to go back into hard depression where I can't get out of my bed. I don't want to do anything. I'm crying. I don't shower. You know what I mean? I don't want to live like that. So I make a conscious choice every day to pray, to have the pain taken away, or at least be given the strength to deal with it, because what else is there to do, right? We have to just deal with it and push forward. As crappy as life is, which I totally agree with you, I just don't want to let it win and then be completely freaking miserable. Like, that's easy. I'm trying to be happy despite of all the crap, despite of not having any, support system, despite not having love and acceptance and feeling valued. And like, there's two ways to go. It's going to be downhill, or it's going to be push your way uphill. So that's what I choose to do. And it's not freaking easy. And trust me, there are days when I shut off the camera and I go put my pajamas on and I have a glass of wine at 2 p.m. or something. Like, there are days that are much harder than others, but you can't live like that. I can't live like that. I can't bring myself to live like that every day and not try. I have to at least try, And I feel like with every more and more trying, it just gets easier and easier. And then there's days where some people look at me like, you have nothing to be happy about. Why are you so freaking happy? And it's like, I'm not really, like, deep down inside, I'm just broken and I'm crying and I'm bleeding and I'm broken. Like, I'm just am, but I tried to put out that happiness because everybody has shit going on in their life that isn't going right. So, I'm not going to just about mine all the time. I'm going to have to push forward and try to make other people smile in hopes of spreading some of that inner joy, Hashtag goals, right? Hi, Wendy. Yeah, it is definitely a mess everywhere. But I totally believe that it's going to be a bigger picture, a much bigger picture that's going to affect many people in the economy. Many, many people. You're tired about hearing about the coronavirus? Yeah, it's kind of everywhere right now, but what's funny is that people don't understand why the toilet paper is going missing or why people are buying up paper towels and stuff like crazy. It's because they're trying to keep themselves safe, because they have to go out and about in the world and they really feel they may come in contact with this virus. So, homemade wipes, right? Maria's kitty cats. This is why I joined your live stream, for me to feel less depressed. Aw, see? So hopefully we're helping at least just one person. That's good. That's a good thing. Analytical Alice, I don't have as big of family problems as you, but that's the reason I went back to school, to keep my mind busy from my worries. Yeah, there's nothing better than staying focused on learning something new, especially if you don't have much control over the situations that are bothering you, right? I mean, if it's a lot of someone else's doing, or non-acceptance or non-love or whatever, you're not really going to have much control over that. You can't make somebody like you or make somebody love you unconditionally. You can't, it's just impossible. So everybody's got free will. And if they choose to not like you, well, that's kind of their problem, right? But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Of course it hurts, right? Everybody wants to be loved and accepted and desired and wanted and appreciated and valued. Everybody wants that. But that's not necessarily how life is, right? And so I think even just learning how to be self-content and happy with the smaller things, the stuff that's out of your control, It's hard to let go of that sometimes because it really does hurt. There's things that people are doing to you that hurt your feelings, and how are you supposed to handle it, right? You got to work through the reasons of that, and sometimes it's too much. So just staying focused on doing something new, learning something new, working harder and stuff, it helps to ease the pain of what's happening. But that's just kind of how I do. My mom used to say life is a short story, make it happy even if some days you have to fight with life. Yeah, no kidding. That's a pretty good saying. Everyone needs to hit that like button. Aw, well, thanks, Tracy. I appreciate that. But yeah, I find it easier to just stay busy because there's so many things that are out of my control as far as my family situation goes, which is the thing that hurts me the most. Um, yeah, like you have family that doesn't want you around and stuff. That's really hard to deal with. It makes you feel like you're worthless or you're not important enough or you're not good enough, for especially when you have siblings and they're loving them just fine, and loving my kids just fine, but they don't love me. So it really makes you feel like you're not worthy, and I struggle with that all the time. It affects my daily relationships, just thinking about it sometimes, for real, you know? Hi, Shobit. Yeah, everybody's freaking out about that virus. My PM's wife has been tested positive. What's a PM? Prime Minister? What? But I think for people who have traveled in the areas where this originated, which was Asia area, and the ships, right? There were cruise ships that had gone towards that area and people that were on it and stuff like that. So, I mean, everybody had to go through the quarantine process, right? So, for people who traveled around those areas, you're going to want to go through the proper precautions and stuff like that. People who are in that area, see, I heard that it was a rumor that the government in that area came out with the virus to control some of the protests that were going on, and it kind of got out of hand. And that's where we're at now. I don't know how true that is. I really don't. But it's very plausible that it's some type of government situation. Like I said, the bigger mushroom is their control over citizens, right? And right now, everybody's busy, busy, go, 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 got their business here and, dinners there and all that kind of jazz. If this gets out to the point that panic is set in for business owners like it has for schools, the economy is going to go into shock for real. Like if people have to stop their businesses to, not entertain the potential encounter with this virus, what's going to end up happening, right? People aren't going to be able to make money anymore. They're not going to be able to buy their supplies in order to even just continue living. So that's her name. Yeah, I heard it was something like that. Now, like I said, I don't know how true it is on where it originated from, but it had to be somebody up, high enough in the power of with the scientists and stuff like that, right? I mean, these are the people that sort of kept this under wraps. We have a virus place in Winnipeg. What the heck is it called? Um, So there's been 3 cases of this coronavirus in Winnipeg. But what is that lab called? There's a lab in Winnipeg. It's the National Microbiology Laboratory. It's part of the Infectious Disease Prevention and HML It's a laboratory literally in the heart of Winnipeg because it's right downtown. Canadian Science Center for Human, no, wait a minute. Hang on. National Microbiology Laboratory is part of the Infectious Disease and Control Branch of the Public Health Agency of Canada, the agency of the Government of Canada that is responsible for public health, health emergency preparedness and response, and infectious and chronic disease control and prevention. So they literally have, diseases contained in that laboratory. Should anybody decide to do something malicious and release something like that, yeah, it could be very detrimental to citizens in that area, right? So it's kind of the same thing. Like all around the world has their own laboratories for different things, and for sure they have a disease and infectious type laboratory, in Asia somewhere, right? So this is just the one in Canada, and there's more than one. The National Microbiology Laboratory was preceded by the Bureau of Microbiology, which was originally part of the Laboratory Centre for Disease Control and Health Canada in Ottawa. And in the 1980s, Health Canada identified both the need to replace existing laboratory space that was reaching the end of its lifespan and the need for containment level 4 space in the country. Around the same time, Agricultural Canada, prior to the Canadian Food Inspection Agency being formed, also identified the need for new laboratory space, including high containment. Numerous benefits were identified for housing both laboratories in one building, and Winnipeg was chosen as the site. An announcement that to that effect was made in October of 1987. After some debate, the spot chosen for the site was a City Works yard near the Health Science Centre, a major teaching hospital, the University of Manitoba's medical school, and other life science organizations. Construction of the facility that came to be named the Canadian Science Centre for Human and Animal Health, often referred to locally as the Virology Lab, began with an official groundbreaking in December 1992. The joint venture design team of Toronto-based Dunlop Architects and Winnipeg-based Smith Carter Architects and Engineers Inc. visited 30 laboratories to seek best practices in containment and design. Construction was largely completed by the end of 1997, with the first programs beginning in the spring of 1998, and all laboratories coming online after that. The official opening took place in June of 1999. Following the SARS outbreak in 2003, the Public Health Agency of Canada was formed in 2004 to provide a strong focus on public health and emergency preparedness in the country. It is a member of the Federal Health Portfolio, along with Health Canada, the Canadian Institute of Health Research, and other organizations. So, like I said, there's all kinds of places like this all around the world that deal with these types of things, right? It's gonna get weird all over. You got that right, Fox 5 Glove. Absolutely. Hi, Carl. How are ya? Hi, Sarah. Hi, Deborah Ferris. Usually just listen and don't say anything, but you have hit my sadness right on the head. I have chronic unbearable pain every day, and my family situation is the same. Yeah, it is really hard. There's kind of nothing else you can do when it involves other people and how they choose to treat you. You really, the best thing to do is to try to wash your hands of it and walk away and understand that you are valued. And if not, they are going to value you, you are going to value yourself enough to not stay stuck on the sadness level of that situation. It's out of my control. I cannot make anybody like me, kind of thing. And so I stay busy in order to not focus on the things that are out of my control that I wish were different. You know, there's nothing else to do. So there are a lot of reasons why it is difficult to get Lyme diagnosed. And I feel unloved, and you've helped one person today, and that's me. God bless you. Aw, bless you too, hon. I'm glad that just a little bit of the chat helped. I'm sorry that you're going through something like that too. It is literally heartbreaking, and it's just so sad. You know, it really is. But if we can be here for each other, I would gladly do that with you. Just popping in? Okay. Yeah, I have to go to work, you guys. I just wanted to come on because Sundays are regular live, but I'm going to be going to work after this and closing the restaurant again this evening. So definitely pray, pray, pray. It doesn't matter though, you know, what you choose to use as prevention measures. If something is in the cards for it to happen to you, it's going to happen. It doesn't matter how you prevent it. So thank you, Jude, for the heart eye emojis. Fox 5 Glove. I thank you for saying that, but in my hardships of life, I've learned that I'm really not scared when the time's going to come for me to die. I really feel like the place that I'm going to go to is going to be a heck of a lot better than this hell on earth has been for me. So yeah, I'm ready whenever, you know, I'll be as safe as I can be and aware of what's happening in my surroundings as much as I can. But whatever's supposed to happen to me is already in the cards. So there's really nothing I can do to stop that if it's meant to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah, Carl, my back's killing me. Seriously, dude. I was literally limping, just like, oh, I've literally came home and just cried. I do believe in the afterlife, and I cannot wait to get there. You know, I really feel like I've read enough, and my belief system, there is no pain where I'm going. There is no sadness where I'm going. There is no tears where I'm going. And I can't tell you how much of each and every one of those things I've had in my life since I was a child. I'm ready, you know, it's fine. If something bad's going to happen and I get to go to that other side, I'm okay with that, you know, like it's fine with me kind of thing. But yeah, he's going to keep me here for as long as he needs me here. He's already got my whole, you know, book figured out, and he knows what the plan is. He knows everything that's going to happen. He knows when my last breath is going to be, you know, and I believe that he is watching over me. So whatever's going to happen is meant to happen. And well, whatever doesn't happen wasn't meant to happen, you know? So there's no other way to really look at it. So I see no need to fear death. I really don't. I feel like it's going to be a better place, you know? Well, I'm actually not at that end of town, Carl. I'm over at the East End now. So you'd be driving like all the way to the other end just to drive back. It's literally like 15 minutes up the road, not really even that much, you know? So that's cool. It's good. Mr. Singh, may you live for 1,000 more years. I certainly hope not. I do not want 1,000 more years of pain and tears and heartache and trials and tribulations. Like, no, thank you. Please don't be a whole nother 1,000 years. I don't think I can handle it. You know? Oh, seriously. So that's just how I think anyways. I'll probably be done before you're even like driven there. Just saying, Carl. When I'm closing, I'm doing everything so proficiently that I'm making sure I'm out of there literally like 5 to 15 minutes after close. I don't want to waste too much time on paperwork and number counting and inventory. And I make sure I have that all down pat. Everything's good to go. That way, when it's time to turn that light off from open to close, I'm ready to go, So by the time you get out from where you are, it's probably going to be quarter after, and I'm already going to be walking up, almost home. So I don't know if it's going to work for today, but I appreciate that you don't mind. It's just really not that far at the East End because the distance. So yeah, I understand. That's sweet of you. Thanks, Carl. But yeah, I do have to get to work today, folks. I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. And if there are any newbies that have come in, hit that subscribe button. Everybody's welcome and everybody's allowed to speak their mind here. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is going to attack you or bully you or make you feel bad for your opinion. As long as you're not attacking somebody else in the process, you're good. You're golden. You can say whatever you want. That's fine. So please share the channel with, your friends and family. Let everybody know that it is a, all-inclusive, everybody's welcome type channel. You can speak your mind here and you're not going to get bombarded and bullied and attacked and stuff. So I thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, give it a like. I appreciate that. It helps my YouTube algorithms. YouTube will show my video to more people the more likes we get. So thank you for that, folks. And hey, if you want to be notified of when I put up a post or I do an upload or I'm live, hit the notification bell and select the option that's best for your needs. But I seriously appreciate all of you. I couldn't do this without you. So thank you for joining. And I'll see you guys again soon for another true story with me, Sherry Wiens. It's TGIS. Thank goodness it's Sherry. Have a great day, folks. Chat with you later.